Hello everyone, it's Gladius. So Dragonflight Season 2 is upon us. That means that there's a whole new gearing system coming with it as well. Blizzard is getting rid of Valor, and we now have this tiered upgrade system that every player needs to know about before investing their Shadowflame Crests into the wrong thing. If you're curious at all about how that new system works, I'm going to go over it all here. I also have some spreadsheets linked in the description below, so you can go ahead and take a look at those and use this as a resource on your gearing journey. Now, if you get lost at any point in this, don't worry. At the end of the video, I have a huge TLDR and a system implemented by Blizzard themselves to help players to be able to guide yourself if you get lost at any point in your gearing journey. We got a lot to cover, so let's go and get right into it. I'm going to link these cheat sheets in the description if you want to use these as a reference. But let's start with what gear we're going to be seeing in Season 2 of Dragonflight. We're going to see 6 different types of gear. We're going to see Explorer, Adventurer, Veteran, Champion, Hero, and Mythic. And basically what this gear type signifies is the item level range it can be upgraded to. So for example, if we look at the Explorer gear up here, it starts dropping at an item level of 376, but we can upgrade it using the upgrade tokens all the way up to a 398. To push beyond this, we're going to have to get a piece from one of the higher gear categories. So we could get an Adventurer piece, and then we'd be able to upgrade it all the way up to 411. Now, we're going to get these as drops within that range. So we could get, for example, like an item level 400 piece of gear in here. And in that case, it would show up that it's upgraded 4 out of the 8 times. All of these gear categories can be upgraded 8 times outside of Hero and Mythic. Hero can be upgraded 5 times and Mythic cannot be upgraded at all. So let's go over where this gear drops really quick. Again, we're gonna have Explorer at item level 376 to 398. That's gonna be world content. Adventurer 389 to 411. That's also gonna be world content. So we're gonna see these in world quests, random elites, like all that kind of stuff. We're going to start seeing these in the dungeons, starting from Mythic 0 all the way to Mythic 8. Raid Finder is going to have this. Suffusion camp events are going to have these, and also they are going to be rare drops from the world content. We're going to also get these from our weekly quest cache that we're able to get for getting the reputation with the new Niffin Renown faction. Next, the champion gear is going to be item level 415 all the way to 437. We're going to get this from the world boss each week. The Suffusion camp is going to have this as a rare drop. Mythic plus 9 to 16. And also if we go to Mythic plus 7 or higher, we're going to get this as a great vault reward. And then also the normal mode raid is going to drop champion gear. Hero is going to drop at item level 428 all the way to 441. And we're going to get this from Mythic plus 17 and above. The Great Vault will drop this if we have done a Mythic plus 8 to 15 during the week. And then Heroic Mode Raid is also going to drop the hero level gear. And then as you might have guessed, the Mythic is going to drop at item level 441. It cannot be upgraded. It is at the max item level. And it's going to be a Great Vault reward if you've done a Mythic plus 16 or higher. And then also the Mythic Raid will drop this as well. So that's where we can start seeing these types of gear. Again, if you find this in like the middle difficulty of that tier of gear, then you will get it along that upgrade path in correlation to how difficult the content was that you did. If you did about the middle of the difficulty range, then it will upgrade to like the 4 out of 8. Or the middle point of your upgrade path. Well, speaking of upgrades, let's go ahead and move on to the upgrades. This spreadsheet shows all the upgrades we're going to need for the different tiers and types of gear. Explorers can be able to be upgraded with flight stones completely. Flight stones are going to be a currency we're going to see all the time in world content, doing world quests. Any kind of content in the Zerlac Caverns is going to have a chance to drop some flight stones. And we can use those to upgrade the explorers all the way. And also moving into adventurer gear, we're going to be able to upgrade half of it, ranks 1 through 4, with flight stones. And then we're going to need to start getting something called Whelpling Crests. We'll talk about crests in just a second in the next part, and I'll tell you exactly where you can get those. Now, something to notice here is that we're going to have an item level overlap with the different tiers of gear. So for example, we have adventurer gear here, and then moving into veteran. The adventurer gear in the last half of its upgrade path is going to match the first half of the upgrade path of the veteran gear. Not only do they share that in common, but we're able to upgrade both of those with the same upgrade tokens. Like I said, the first half, we're able to do the flight stones for the adventurer gear, but the second half is the Whelpling Crests. Well, if once we move to veteran, we're able to do the first half 1 through 4 with the Whelpling Crests, and then the second half, we're going to need the Drake Crests. And then this is kind of a cascading effect. We're going to continue that pattern on with the champion and hero, where we have the Drake Crest for the first half, Worm Crest for the second half, then Worm Crest for the first half. And then this is where it gets different. The hero can only be upgraded to rank 5. Okay, so Aspect, this is a unique crest. We're able to apply that to a hero piece that's at rank 4 of the hero path, and we're able to give it an Aspect crest to get it to rank 5, which will put it at item level 441, which is the equivalent of a mythic piece. Now, what's different with Mythic is that if we just get a Mythic to drop from the Mythic Raid or a plus 16 or higher from the Great Vault, then we're going to just get it at the highest possible item level that it's able to be. And that's going to be like your pinnacle set piece, your pinnacle piece that can't go any higher than what it is. Now let's talk about the Shadowflame Crests and where to find them. We have the Whelpling, Drake, Worm, and Aspect. First, you're going to see the Whelpling and Drake in world content. The Whelpling one is going to drop more often than the Drake one does. But the more consistent way of farming any of these crests is going to be going into the Mythic Keystones or the Raid, because we're not able to get the Worm or Aspect crests at all in world content, but we are able to get them in Mythic and Raid content. When we're talking about getting the drops in the Mythic dungeons and in the Raid, we're going to get these in fragments, okay? So we need 15 fragments to make one of the crests. Also, something else to know, we're able to make 10 of these crests each week, and that's for each type. So we can make in, say, week 1 of season 2, we can make 10 Whelplings, 10 Drakes, 10 Worms, and 10 Aspect. Blizzard did say that you shouldn't feel like you have to cap that out each week. That's set intentionally very high to make sure that often players won't feel the cap, but it's set at a reasonable level so players aren't completely left behind by the most competitive cutting edge players. Now let's briefly go through the Mythic Keystones and how they're going to drop. Mythic 0 through 5 is going to drop the Whelpling Shadowflame Crests. On a completion of a dungeon, you're going to get 5 fragments. Now, if you time the key, if you are successful in timing the key, you'll actually get 12 instead. So the goal should be, like usual, to time your keys and you'll be getting a lot of fragments that way. Now, let's just briefly go through. Drake is going to drop from 6 to 10, Worm is going to drop from 11 to 15, and Aspect will drop from 16 and above. They all have the same drop rates. Now, if we move on to Raid, Raid Finder is going to have 10 fragments drop from the bosses, and then the final boss is going to drop 15. And it's just going to scale from Raid Finder all the way up to Mythic. So Whelpling will be Raid Finder, Drake will be normal, Worm will be heroic, and then Aspect will drop from Mythic. Again, I'm going to link these cheat sheets in the description below if you wanted to take a closer look at them or use them as a roadmap for targeting your gear that you're looking for. Now, if we wanted to take a look at actually what the upgrade system looks like in the hands of players, it's going to be like this. So in my bag here, notice I have an Explorer piece that's rank 2 of 8, an Adventurer piece that is at the halfway point, 4 of 8, and a Champion piece that's at 2 of 8. If I take my Deep Rock Signet here and I drop it into the upgrade, and as expected from the table we saw before, we know we only need Flight Stones to upgrade Explorer pieces. And we can continue using our Flight Stones in a scaling amount all the way up to the Explorer item level cap. Now, what I really like about this system and something that Blizzard has started doing with their currency items is that you can scroll over it and it shows you where you can earn these tokens from. So Flight Stones, earned from completing PvE activities in raids, dungeons, and outdoor world. Used to upgrade Dragonflight Season 2 equipment during that season. I really like that. But what really helps is that over here, if I put in the Champion piece, notice that it's going to pull up the Flight Stones, but also it's going to pull up our Shadowflame Crests. Just a side note here, you are going to need to use your Flight Stones throughout all of the progression paths. And again, these are rewarded from literally doing everything. Like anything you're doing in the game, you're going to be passively accruing these. What I really like about this tooltip here is that it shows us exactly where we're able to find these Shadowflame Crests. So it says, used to power higher level veteran and lower level champion gear. I really like the inclusion of this. This is going to help players just take any piece of gear they're interested in upgrading it, just put it in the upgrade window, and then just scroll over the currencies and know exactly what kind of content they need to complete to keep progressing their gear. This is going into their idea of having a steady upgrade path for each player. No matter what content they're doing, they're going to have a way to progress their gear and be able to have a path forward to be able to progress into the more difficult stuff if they choose to. On paper, the system looks really great. I'm interested to see how it works with the player base and how people like it after they start interacting with it. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this upgrade system. Do you think it's a good addition to the game? Do you think they hit the mark of making a simple upgrade path for all players to take a look at, no matter what content they're doing? Let me know what you think. All right, so that's it. That's the whole gearing system. I hope the video helped you out today. Please let me know in the comment section below if there's anything else that I could cover on the gearing system itself, or if you have any questions still about it. But if the video did help you out today, please heroic strike that like button. And if you want to stay tuned for more WoW content in the future, please slam the subscribe. I appreciate your time today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.